Hey guys, what's going on? Steve Cronin. Time for a video. How old do you have to be to take nootropics? How old do you have to be to take nootropics? Now, firstly, I suppose I should say that nootropics, let me fix my hair here. Nootropics are not for kids.
This video is in full compliance of YouTube's community guidelines. I do not promote dangerous or illegal activities, and this video does not support illegal drug use, nor provide any medical advice. The purpose of this video is of education and to document my own personal experience. No drugs are shown within this video.
I get a surprising number of comments on my channel asking me, like, hey Steve, I'm 16 years old. Is it okay for me to take, and then they'll say something like, aniracetam, or piracetam, or paramiracetam. I think it's generally, like, well understood, hopefully, and maybe that's too big of an assumption, that drug use and teenagers do not mix very well. You know, your brain is still developing. I don't know exactly, I can't tell you exactly why you know, inducing physiological change from a drug perspective is necessarily a bad thing. Other than that, a lot of people seem to think that it stunts or interferes with normal physiological development in some way. And I think that makes sense to me. I think generally that makes sense. At the same time, however, you have physicians that will prescribe something like modafinil or Adderall to kids, to teenagers. So it's not necessarily something that's universal. But I will say, as like a general rule of thumb, if I were a teenager, you know, ooh, the wind here in my hair. If I were a teenager, and that's you know, really what I can only say is what I would do, I probably wouldn't be running out to a website to buy something like, you know, pramiracetam or whatever. If I were a teenager, I'd probably feel comfortable taking something like lion's mane. But for the most part, with most nootropics, I probably wouldn't take them. If you really have this question in a very serious way, you should talk to your physician. And that's not a cop-out answer. Like, I definitely understand that most physicians probably don't know what these drugs are, these smart drugs. And so if you ask them and they don't really understand, and they're probably just gonna say no, like, I totally get that. They're probably gonna be like, I can't recommend this. So it's like, either say they don't know or tell you not to take it at all. Totally get that. So do your research, I suppose. But if you are a kid and you're a teenager, man, like, it's probably not a good idea. Probably not a good idea to take drugs in general. So that's really all I can say, is that I wouldn't do it if I were a teenager. Now, when I was 20 years old, this was 8 years ago, so that borderline's 19, right? That's when I started experimenting with nootropics. However, my reasoning is that I was, my health was impacted. You know, I was coming off that Lyme disease spectrum. There are videos on this channel, if you go if you go back far enough, that have me talking about my Lyme disease experience. These are videos from like 6 and 7 years ago. So yes, that, you know, being chronically ill provided a gateway to using and discovering nootropics, and that went on for you know, over 8 years. But how many people that age have a chronic illness? I mean, I would imagine more don't than do, right? And so, you know, that was just my reasoning that made sense for me to get involved in nootropics. So, gotta give that disclaimer because I sound a little bit hypocritical starting at the age of 20 and then being like, teens probably shouldn't take this stuff. But that was my reasoning. So at the end of the day, you gotta make your own decisions. That's what we're all about, you know. I would like to say that we're all free human beings that decide what we put into our bodies. That's not necessarily true for most of us, you know, depending on what kind of governments we live under. Like, I live in the United States, and so for me to go and use MDMA in most situations would be illegal. That being said, I do have an MDMA video coming up, so, but yeah, it's rough stuff. Talk to your physician, make smart decisions, do lots of research, and at the end of the day, if you are a teenager, don't take nootropics. That's what I would say. Alright dudes, that's it for now. See you Wednesday. Bye-bye.